Good morning, great Americans. This is another great American video by yours truly, Terry O'Brien, from the clan of O'Brien, from Ireland. I've never said that at the top of any of my videos before. This is going to be a weird video, so I'm going to try to be brief. This is going to be one of my first sort of streaming consciousness video. I have been on a crazy internet just sort of wild. Remember when they used to remember that phrase surfing the internet? It's because you just kind of go where you click on a link and you see something new, and then you might click on a link there, and you kind of just surf with the waves and go where it takes you, right? So the other day I was sort of in a melancholy mood, and I decided to start. I have an ancestry.com account, and I started digging back more on my dad's side of the family. Of course, my last name is O'Brien, so O'Brien's. I won't go into it. It's just a long history in Ireland about O'Brien's from the first Brian Boru, the Super King, back in around the year 1002, right? And the sons, I believe it's the sons of Brian, are called O'Brien, which translates into O'Brien. So there's a lot of O'Briens in Ireland, and it's all very interesting. So I won't bother you with that. But so then I became interested. I thought, you know what, man, I'm just gonna. I figured out what town like my great grandfather was born in, and his son, my great grandfather, and both of them, father and son, left there to go to America, right? And um, and so I decided to start poking around in the town. So just for fun, being the social media guy I am, I put in the name of the town, Doneraile, into Facebook, into Twitter, right? And this is all very interesting, and I'm learning stuff, right? And somehow I managed to wiggle. I surfed my way over to uh, um, something called Irish Central, because I was learning irishcentral.com, all one word, Irish Central. And because it was talking about more of like the meaning of O'Brien and the coat of arms and all. But then I discovered something extremely disturbing. And why am I surprised? In the world we live in, this wonderful journey I was taking all of a sudden became ugly, and just spun right back around to the same old shit that I talk about every day, which is basically which is politics and the evil of the left, and they truly are evil. They are the manifestation of evil in this world. And being a Donald Trump supporter and restoring liberty and freedom to America and all that kind of stuff. So, what do I see on Irish Central? So, apparently, not only do they talk about Irish stuff, but they like to talk about politics too. And what did I see on Irish Central? But some nutty, goofy article about a petition to boycott the White House on St. Patrick's Day 2025. Why? Because Trump is president. I'm like, oh, God, what is wrong with these dopey bastards, man? I mean, I was looking at my town on Facebook and Google Maps and stuff like that. It's like going back into medieval times. Not There's not many places in Ireland that are really, modern. Like, you can walk into, get some fast food, or walk in and buy a cell phone, or my town of Doneraile looks like it dropped out of a medieval book. Just not. There's no McDonald's. There's no fast food. There's nothing there, man. I mean, nothing. Um, and and so I'm trying to figure out what uh how is it that these people. So anyway, to make a long story short, I realized that the tentacles and tendrils of world socialism, and frankly, the old communists who found a home in socialist extremist groups like climate change groups and universal medicine groups, all this kind of stuff. So that's the home of the new communists. And sure enough, the more I'm looking around, the more I'm realizing these Irish are, I mean, they're my ancestors, and it's a beautiful land, and Ireland is just beautiful, man. And the town is beautiful, even though it's there's no modern conveniences there. I looked on Google Maps on at the town, and there's hardly any of the businesses have a Google listing. I'm just like, it's just hilarious, and it's really weird. But I'm like, how are people like this still managing to glom on to left-wing propaganda and fake news propaganda about Trump? I mean, this website and these related websites, the Mid Ulster IPSC, Mid Ulster Ireland Palestine Solidarity Campaign. Man, they are right out of the Nazi playbook, hating the Jews, siding with the terrorists. I mean, what the hell? Why are Irish people who I thought were traditionally Catholic, like me, siding with the terrorists and hating Jews like so much Nazis? Well, is it any surprise that it wasn't that long ago that we were reading stories about Ireland uh, sort of forsaking its Catholic heritage and signing on to stuff like abortion and gay marriage and all the evil, man. It's evil. So Ireland is sort of, I told you they were sort of backwards. There's a lot of Irish villages are still stuck in medieval times. And that's probably why the evil of the global left took so long to worm its way into Ireland, but it did. Man, evil, I tell you what, evil is, look, killing kids by abortion, sodomy. I mean, let's face it, that's what gay marriage is sodomy, for Christ's sakes. And all this kind of stuff are everything that the Bible says is evil. And they are everything that the left promotes. And sadly now, my homeland of Ireland seems to be promoting that garbage. So, what the hell am I talking about? I just told you stepped into a vortex this morning of streaming consciousness. So imagine first I'm overjoyed, man, and I'm learning about my ancestors. I'm finding out all this stuff. I find this town, Doneraile in County Cork, and I saw this beautiful video about it. I'm saying, oh, it's so beautiful, it's not. And so then I dig a little bit deeper, and then all of a sudden there's politics, and I'm like, these people, what the hell's going on here? So this dopey broad, listen to this. This is just so typical of, I mean, somebody named Carrie O'Shea, it's a good Irish name, I think, who writes for this, I believe she writes for that Irish, Irish Central. She's like, she posts on Twitter, I'm looking to chat with Irish and Irish Americans to respond to Trump's executive order rolling back birthright citizenship. Well, first of all, it's none of your goddamn business. Okay? This is America. I mean, if you want people to go to Ireland and if you want foreigners to sneak into Ireland illegally, have babies, and then have your law saying those babies are citizens and you can't do nothing about it, and then that's what you call an anchor baby, and then the parents have to stay with the baby, and that's how they sneak in. If you want boats of people from around the world and China and everyone else landing on Irish shores, sneaking in illegally, having babies, and then anchoring themselves to your social services, if that's what you want, then, Go with God. You have my blessing. But don't sit here and question what we do over here. So first of all, this Carrie, she hasn't got a clue. Okay, so I posted. I wonder if she's probably not going to see this. Although I went to her Twitter page had absolutely no responses. So obviously she's a nobody. So from what I can see, my 3 responses to her tweet are the only 3 responses there. I posted one video, which is great, by Mark Levin, about birthright citizenship. I posted a meme, which is cool. I said, Irishmen who love freedom and liberty support Donald J. Trump. And then I wrote a sort of a bit of a rude tweet too. I was feeling a little angry. So I said, your article about boycotting the White House is an insult. You spread leftist propaganda. Trump is a great American who is restoring freedom and liberty, which was destroyed by the fascist Joe Biden. And yes, he is a fascist. I'm Irish, I am. And I'm American. I was born in Texas. I'm an American. And I can tell you that your article is garbage. So there you go, Karaoke. You just heard from one American in a video and 3 tweets. So that ought to hold you. So, the fact is that the Democrat Party and the left represent all that is evil. It's a manifestation of the immortal battle between good and evil, which has taken place ever since God cast Satan and his minions out of heaven into hell. And it's been taking place ever since then. And look, if you believe in God, then you got to believe in what I'm saying. God cast Satan out. Now, if you don't believe in God, then you can just sort of disregard this part of the video. But if you do believe in God, you have to believe several things. God cast Satan out, and the battle between good and evil has raged ever since. And it manifests itself in the material realm in many ways. Many, many, many ways. From just sheer evil acts. When you see people committing just unconscionable, evil, horrible acts, that's evil. When you see women who celebrate murdering their babies by abortion, that is evil. And when you see a quote unquote church, and I put it in quotes, that accepts, promotes, and celebrates sodomy, that is evil and that is antichrist. And by the way, here goes my streaming consciousness. I'm about to take a left turn. By the way, the great Brian Boru, the king that I talked about earlier, the great Uber king of Ireland, from where all the O'Briens come from. I'm trying to figure out, can somebody respond to this video or go to my Twitter page or whatever, and please tell me, why is his bones or his remains inside of an England Antichrist church? And yes, this all brought to mind my video of the other day of that stupid, ignorant, fake woman bishop who is Antichrist and who promotes evil. She's from the Antichrist Church of the Anglicans, who have sodomites as bishops. And that church is Antichrist. And apparently, from what I can see online, the bones of my ancestor, Brian Boru, King Brian Boru, are in one of those churches up in Northern Ireland, which is, that's run by the English. Well, that's a whole other story there. Why is he not in an Irish Catholic church? I mean, I'll be granted, I'm a bit new to this, granted. So, I'm sitting here yelling at these Irish people poking their nose into American politics and they're ignorant. So I'll be the first to admit, I'm new to and I may be ignorant of all the details of Irish history. But it would seem to me that the great king of Ireland, the Irish king of Ireland, should not be resting in an English Antichrist church in Northern Ireland. I mean, is that does that make sense? I I don't know, but I somebody tell me if why that is, because on the surface it doesn't seem to make any sense. So if you're still watching this video, then you got nothing better to do. Woo! Anyway, it's been quite a couple of days for me. But anyway, you know, my my videos and websites and stuff are all about politics and stuff, and so I'm gonna fold in my personal journey into this unfortunate rediscovery of what I've already known, and that is that the tentacles and the evil of global socialism, the global left, and they hate Trump, right? Because he's a true American and a patriot, and he doesn't want the snotty elitists in Davos telling us what to do. They can go kiss my ass, man. I'm not the hell with your green energy crap and your Paris Accord lies and all that crap. And so they hate Trump, and their hatred of Trump, the elitist, globalist, socialist left, who really wants one world government, they hate Trump because he's the president of the most powerful superpower ever to exist in the history of man, and he stands against their globalist, one world government, socialist garbage. So they hate him. That is trickling down through the evil left and has trickled its way into these websites I found, like the irishcentral.com, this stupid dimwit Carrie O'Shea, and I don't know what's a mid-Ulster. Wasn't there a time when Irish nationalists actually sided with the communists? Or again, that's a sad thing to think that a once Catholic uh, uh, culture would toss in with freaking communists and socialists. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you? Yeah. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So it all ties together. And now I've learned some things about Ireland, some good things and some bad things. Which is it's a beautiful place, very interesting history, but sadly many Irish people are political idiots and morons, and sadly a lot of them have jettisoned their Catholic faith in and replace it with evil practices. Now, some of the responses I've seen to some of this stuff give me hope, right? I see some good Irish people saying, you're full of shit, So, um, anyway, so if any Irish people watch this, if you know anything about anything, I'd love to hear any information. If you are from uh, Doneraile or County Court, and you know anybody named O'Brien, well, that's kind of stupid, right? There's probably a million O'Briens, right? But apparently, I'm just going to say this real quick, in case this rings a bell with anybody who's done their, one of those ancestry things. My great, I'm going to say this, three greats. This is three greats. My great grandfather Timothy O'Brien was born in 1795 in Doneraile, County Cork. He had a son, John O'Brien, who was born in 1827, also in Doneraile, County Cork. And then Timothy and son John, those were the last of that little string of O'Briens that were stayed in Ireland. They moved to the United States, and they had a kid, and then they had a kid, and then my dad and me. So my dad was born in Texas, and I was born in Texas. And what happened in between? There was somebody was in Nebraska, and then somebody was in Iowa, and I made a little image from the ancestry tree. I don't know if I can stick it on here somehow, but I will. Um, I'm sticking in. Oh, that's right. I can stick the image in here. I'm going to stick it in right here while I'm talking. And so that's it from left to right. So if anybody in Ireland, in County Cork, or near Doneraile, or anybody named O'Brien, and if any of this uh, is recognizable, drop me a line. I'd love to hear any tidbit or detail or tangential fact that you might have. So anyway, interesting day, uh, uh, and to all the Irish people who support liberty and Trump and all that kind of stuff, thank you. And to all the socialist Irish people who are on the left and who don't like Trump, you are dupes of propaganda and you're brainwashed by fake news. You don't have a friggin' clue. Now, of course, if some of you are willing participants in the globalist social movements, then you you have a clue and you're just on the wrong side. You have embraced evil and you have jettisoned your Irish heritage. That's all I have to say about that. So, I'm going to put a few sort of disparate but related links into the video, and I will see. Thanks for taking my journey of streaming consciousness from here, there, and everywhere. And I will see you in the next great American video. Audio. Oh man, what's Irish for adios muchachos? I don't know. Well, if you're Irish, that's his Spanish. See you later. Have a good day and go with God. Adios.